this. After months upon months of prying into their Cheerios and wishing they were never born, a signal just flashed that the Moon Boys have been waiting for. But if you think that signal is big, just wait until you see this one. And mark your calendars because there's some bombshell news that many are not ready for. And is this Doomsday Dumpathon all but over? These charts are telling us the answers. And if we just listen close, perhaps we can squeeze the information right out of them. I'm your host, Squirts Magoo, and with Bitcoin seeing its first green weekly close in nearly 3 months, are the baby bulls finally back on top and ready to deliver the baby bears a 1-2 switcheroo directly into the duty zone? Or is this actually something much different? So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those ghost notifications to never miss these absolutely time-sensitive alerts. And as well, if you are interested in getting any bonuses for altcoins, trading their absolutely very spectacular links below. And as well, for a limited time, if you join our stake pool, you stake with TSC Pool specifically. For the next roughly 6 months, beginning soon, if you're delegated to our pool, TSC Stake Pool, you will receive free Ape Society tokens alongside regular staking rewards by being in a pool. More information about that, it just takes a few minutes to learn what it is and what it's about if you look at the website pinned below. Roughly 35 epochs, and more information will be coming out this week. So basically all you need to know now is that if you're interested in receiving those free tokens in addition to regular ADA rewards, all you have to do is delegate to the TSC Stake Pool. There's only a few other pools that actually have this partnership as well. And without any further ado, let's jump in. Unbelievable. So at this very second, Bitcoin, it did break 30,000. It broke 31,000, and it's currently attempting something much bigger. But if we take a look here on Bitcoin's 3-day chart, and we see this on many different time frames, but we see the daily chart really starting to ramp up. Over the last couple of weeks, Bitcoin has been completely trading sideways, but we're finally starting to see some more momentum. And if we break this previous high set back at the very last day of May, last week, then again, I think just further validates that we are in fact going to be heading up into at least some sort of relief rally, right? We can't get too excited, but everything right now at this point is showing that this month we are going to see at least some sort of substantial relief rally. And in my opinion, at the very least, up, Bitcoin 20% at some point. Altcoins up as well. Similarly, most likely more than Bitcoin, as Bitcoin dumps less, but it also pumps less. Remember, pretty much from the last cycle high of 2017 to the high of 2021, Bitcoin only like 3x'd. So the high of a couple years ago was 20,000, then it went up to about 69,000. Nice. So that's great, but a 3x isn't going to make most people rich. So again, that's another reason people delve into altcoins, because let's be honest, the technology is awesome, but most of you watching this video right now are here for one reason. You invest in cryptocurrency because you want to make money, right? There's nothing wrong with that, but let's be honest about it. And with that as well, on Bitcoin's 3-day chart, we see this MACD completely curving up here. And again, signaling that a nice upside move is very imminent. I like looking at the 3-day because it's right in between the 1 day and 1 week. And also with the 1 week though, we see that slowly curving up as well. And I think this momentum is going to continue to push up and strengthen over the next couple of days, specifically this week. And another big thing happening this week that we're going to be jumping into in a second. But yeah, if we take a look on this weekly chart, as we've been talking about for the past few days, this possibility of this expanded flat correction, at which point we're already pretty much done with this, meaning the next move, there's only really one move left. And it's to the upside. If this isn't truly an expanded flat correction, which looks identical to an expanded flat correction. Remember, if you want more information on that, you can look at the last video because that was more detailed towards the end about this expanded flat correction. But it's very likely the next move, realistically, again, it most likely will just be a relief rally or a dead cat bounce or whatever you want to call it. But a move to the upside is almost one of the only things that makes sense at this point. And so with that, again, my targets still are like mid 40,000s over the next 5 to 8 weeks. But I think it will kind of happen a lot faster. I do believe truly that these moves to the upside, especially in bearish downtrends, happen very, very fast, just like what we saw in the summer of last year. I remember tracking this falling wedge in the summer of last year, literally like the day that it broke. That was actually pretty bananas. But yeah, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5 straight green, very big candles. We're not even talking about baby candles, but like each candle was like at least 10%. That's pretty big. And altcoins went absolutely bonkers during that time. So yeah, if we see any sort of similar pump, again, I think this will happen pretty fast over the next realistically, I think 2 to 3 weeks could get very, very explosive to breaking 40K minimum over the next 2 to 3 weeks. I think that makes the most sense if this truly is going to be a bounce and an exaggerated or a very pumpy, expanded, flat explosion. And as well, you see this curving over, you see the RSI, you see the MACD, you see all of these things hinting that Bitcoin's momentum is shifting more to the upside on a lot of different time frames. So again, another really interesting thing is that the SPX as well, we see kind of, it looks to me as though it's bottomed as well, at least for right now. On this, this is the 3-day chart. If we go to the 1-day chart, you can see, I mean, it's very likely, especially on that 3-day, you saw that it looked like the RSI had bottomed. On the weekly, absolutely as well, it looks very similar. But it looks as though, again, even if this stock market rally is a dead cat bounces still go up a decent amount. So it's still too early to tell 100%. But with all of that, the DXY, I think, is really what's important to watch. And on the 3-day chart, the MACD has actually crossed bearish. We've gotten a bearish cross here. We're pretty overextended. You can see going back, this is one of the highest it's been over the last decade in terms of the MACD being this overextended and potentially hinting at a pullback. On the 1-day chart, we're actually slowly shifting this momentum as well. You see, for many days there's been quite a dump. However, this is actually about to curve over. So, a short-term little pump to get rejected, I think, is the most likely scenario if we do get rejected. Meaning, I think that we might have a little bit of a fake out move to the upside, even if we do ultimately end up getting rejected. But most importantly, on this weekly chart, we see that same thing happening where we're about to get this bearish cross and we see the momentum kind of dying off a little bit. I mean, look in the past. The last time that the MACD was this kind of overextended to the tippy top here was back in 2015. And the DXY, for the most part, topped out there, traded sideways, ended up making a slightly higher high there, but then ultimately traded much to the downside. And I mean, that's history there. So will we be able to break out of this range? If I was somebody that was very bullish on the DXY and wanted to see it move to the upside, these signs would not be very promising to me, meaning I would be a little concerned about where we are right now. I would think, wow, are we actually literally just topping out again like we have for the past 8 years, right at this level, right around 102, 103? Because right now, again, in my opinion, it's very likely that is what's happening. And again, on the 3-day chart, if we go to the 1-day chart, really what we're doing right now is just holding on this 50-day moving average. And if it fails, again, same story we've been talking about for weeks now, I think it's very likely we see that move potentially below 100, which we've been holding very strongly so far. But that resistance is right now right about 103, right where the 21-day moving average is. And it's going to be playing out very soon. We're going to be seeing these moving averages kind of get closer and closer, it gets squeezed and squeezed, and it's a typical story of a breakout coming very soon. But again, in the short term, I do think it is possible that we are going to make that move up again to retest the 21-day. But ultimately, if we fail the 50-day, that's the only thing that matters. If we fail that, then we are going to see a significant drop, I believe. And I think we're going to see a nice move to the upside for a lot of these other cryptos. But the market will find out this week on June 10th, the release of the CPI report, the Consumer Price Index for May. And one of the benchmarks for gauging how inflation is progressing, these prints have traditionally been accompanied by market volatility, not just in crypto, but also, yes, specifically crypto. But more importantly here as well, miner capitulation is very close. Bitcoin miners have been holding off from significant distribution of coins, but hash ribbons that measure miner profitability and have been historically accurate in correlating price phases, it looks as though we're entering the capitulation phase, similar to March of 2020. And that the last thing a holder should do is sell as this result. And why? Because hash miner capitulation is very close, profit margins are getting squeezed, and it's not a sell signal. The end of a capitulation period has historically set up some of the best long-term buys for Bitcoin. Basically, meaning that over the next few days, couple of weeks, we could see basically the ultimate bottom. At which point, if you sold there, you would be very likely selling the ultimate bottom, which is not what a smart investor or an investor that likes to make money would do. Let me say that again. It's something that if you sell within the next 2 to 3 weeks, it will be very likely that will be not something you would want to do if you like making money in these markets. Bitcoin does snap this nearly 10-week losing streak. But again, a lot of people believe this is a bull trap and may have a short-lived gain, but is more than likely going to resume the downward trend seen for the past few months. Specifically, Josh Olszewicz, head of research at Valkyrie, Uncertainty in the global economy due to high inflation and the likelihood we're in a recession, paired with prevalence of central bankers raising rates, is likely going to force all assets downwards, at least for the next few months. And they do believe that 22,000 will be the ultimate bottom, because that is where many institutions and large corporations bought in and are highly unlikely to let their trade go too far underwater. Specifically, they're probably talking about like Michael Saylor. Again, I think that's kind of just the mainstream narrative. A lot of people have been saying the same thing. It makes it less and less interesting of a narrative and less likely, in my opinion. But realistically, for Bitcoin, again, looking at this chart, let's take a look just right here. Right here, it's been straight down since then, with the smallest teeny baby bounce right here. Other than that, it's been only dumpiness. So again, looking at this chart and comparing that dumpiness to previous times of pumpiness and other times of dumpiness, again, the chart does not go one way forever. It does not go up only, and it doesn't go down only. But we've been pretty much going down only for the past better part of a year, so 7-8 months now. It's just very likely, and again, many things showing up, that a pump, even if it is a multi-month bull trap, multi-month dead cat bounce, multi-month relief rally, is the most likely scenario. As you guys new channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those ghost notifications, never miss these absolutely time-sensitive alerts as well. If you guys are interested in getting any trading bonuses or deals, multiple $1,000 bonuses if you deposit below for different exchanges. If you're interested in trading, longing, shorting this market, remember there is risk involved, but there is, this entire space is risky, it should go without saying. And as well, if you are interested in receiving free Ape Society tokens, all you have to do is delegate to our stake pool. It takes 2 to 3 minutes below. Very simple, very easy. You'll get regular rewards on top of additional Ape Society rewards, and they'll be distributed for roughly 35 epochs or 6 months, and it is beginning very soon. I believe the final details are actually coming out this week, but really all you have to know is that if you're delegated to the pool, that's basically it. You can claim them at a later date. So without any further ado, that's it for me.